Hi, this is Amira, digital account executive with Vista Magazine, and today I have Lubaina with me. She is the creator and founder of LIVA, and LIVA is actually a date sugar company that produces very fine, bright date sugar. It's raw and it's organic, and it's much like the dusty white. Hopefully, you could see it. The dusty white pattern on the box. And Lubaina, we would love to hear more about your story, what your company is all about. So I'm going to start off with my first question, which is, what is the story behind Liva?
So the idea started, it was my third pregnancy and I was, just starting my pregnancy, and 2 weeks in, I was diagnosed with gestational diabetes. So my doctor pretty much put me on insulin a month later, and and I had to go on this strict diet where I could not eat any sugar, no grains, and it was pretty tough. I gave birth to my third son, and the doctor told me within 5 months you are probably going to be diabetic. So just watch your sugar and watch your diet. I did like ignore it a little, and a few months in, I started getting bladder infections, and then I ended up getting candida, which is a pretty tough thing to have because then my doctor put me on a total grain-free, sugar-free diet for 4 to 6 months. That summer, my sister visited me, and she's a baker. And we were trying to create something that I could eat because I was like basically her guinea pig for the past years. I started going online, and I did read this book called How Not to Die. And in that, it did say that dates are the world's healthiest sugar. So I started doing my hunt, found this date sugar online. We ended up getting it. A few weeks later, we baked with it, and it did not affect my blood sugar. So I was so happy, and I basically continued that for my diet for the candida. And I was so excited, but it was really hard to get. They didn't deliver here, and I would have to wait for my sister to come. So that's when that idea came. I'm like, this has helped me, and I'm sure there's so many girls out there who love their sweets, or and especially in pregnancy, crave it. And so that's when the idea came to create this sugar.
Yes, so according to my research as well, dates don't affect diabetics the way that refined sugar does,
Yes.
or just even other natural sweeteners. So that's a really great sign, and you saw it in yourself as well.
Yes,
So
exactly.
what makes your date sugar different from other date sugars on the market or other alternative sweeteners?
Okay, so I feel like this is a totally different sugar out there. First of all, it's a fruit, which is just air dried and grinded. So another part of my story is that the date sugar I was using was a little bit darker, not as sweet, and it did not dissolve in a lot of things, because it did go under heat, and it was not as fine as mine. So I did change that with my date sugar, and so I am preserving a lot of the nutrients. And it's basically high in antioxidant, high in fiber, high in vitamin A, K, C, and E, and in B1 and 6. It's high protein, iron, potassium, phosphorus, zinc, and magnesium, omega 3 and 6. It is a low glycemic load, which all diabetics are looking for. It's like 1.6, and it's low glycemic. It's a lower calorie sugar, and it's so good for your gut.
That's amazing. I mean, it sounds like a nutrient and a sweetener that would be so great for prenatal health and pregnancy. Can you go more into that?
Yes, it's actually, I after launched the sugar, I started doing a lot of research on pregnancy and nursing. So with nursing, especially, it creates this hormone called prolactin, which is good for mother's milk. It's high in calcium. For nursing, for a pregnancy, it's basically excellent for women who need energy. It helps with constipation because of the high fiber. It has folate, which is basically helps with birth defects. It has iron, potassium, which helps with blood pressure and leg cramps, and helps build the kidney. It has magnesium that helps build the teeth and bone. and it helps with allergies, which I had. And even growing up, my mom would always give date syrup to me every time we had asthma or really really bad eczema. So
Oh.
I know that instead of putting something that is not healthy in your body with this, it could help solve a lot of problems.
So speaking of allergies, it is allergen free, it's organic, raw, and GMO free.
Yes, it is. It is gluten free, nut free, organic, plant based, vegan, kosher. And it's fair trade. And I'm also working on a diabetic seal for my product as well.
It's amazing that you've kept the fiber in there and that it's still so fine. And that even the color's like a brighter color, because I'd find that with regular date sugars, my cakes or breads or cookies would be really, really dark. And I
Yes,
didn't want that look to it because you know what, to me, look is also
it is.
impacting
You
my
eat with your
appetite.
eyes first, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So, in terms of ratios, like refined, if you were to have, like a cup of refined sugar in your baked goods, how would you substitute that with your date sugar? And also for, like a teaspoon in a latte of refined sugar, how much would you use
Yeah.
for
So,
of your date
yeah,
sugar?
I mean, because every sugar has its own entity. With date sugar in most baked goods, it's 1 to 1. I like my things a little bit sweeter. So in some baked goods, like a chocolate cake, I would add a quarter cup more. But let's say in banana bread and muffins, I would keep it to 1 to 1 ratio. With chia pudding, with oatmeal, with smoothies, I just put in one, tablespoon or teaspoon, depending on how much fiber I want. And just with hot drinks, like with lattes, I feel like because you usually end up blending it, the sweetness comes out right away. But with I feel like with tea, you would need like a little bit more than a teaspoon, like a heaping teaspoon, because it does take a few minutes, like 20 seconds, for the sweetness to come and dissolve.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yes.
I haven't tried it in my lattes or teas yet, but now I'll know what to expect, so I don't have to add more. I'll just give it a few minutes.
Yeah,
But I
exactly.
have,
And I drink it with my matcha latte every day. Something I look forward to. It as a nice caramel taste, and I just know I'm putting something good in my body every time I do that.
and it is really easy to use. So I've tried to use it in my baked goods, and it just like it creams so well with butter,
Yes.
just the way that regular, refined sugar would. And with other date sugars, I found that it always used to clump up and get into like tiny balls, and then I
Yes,
wouldn't be
it's
able to
hard,
use
right?
it.
Because
Yeah.
I did some research. The reason why it happened is because they actually put nitrogen in their sugars.
Okay.
And that's when I was like, no, I want to keep it raw. So we didn't put anything in it. We just air dried it. It's a little bit of a longer process, but that's what I wanted from it, right? So
It's worth it. Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Okay, so what is your vision for Liva?
Okay, so my vision is to educate people on how to enjoy your sweets without feeling guilty. And there is a sugar out there with benefits which tastes great. And I just want to take that feeling of avoid, like you shouldn't have to avoid anything. If you feel like think something, just have it without feeling guilty or making your self feeling bad about anything. So that was my main mission. Is I don't think you should avoid anything. If you have everything in balance, your body's happy, and it doesn't have that addiction.
Right. I personally believe in this mission very much. As a nutritionist, I specialize in prenatal health, and I could see that sugar and refined sugar and imbalances in the blood sugar levels affects, a mother's metabolic system so much
Yes.
in pregnancy. So this product is definitely something dear to my heart. And
Oh,
these answers were excellent. Thank you so much for being here today with me.
thank you
And
so much for this opportunity. Yes, you're helping me get my mission out, and which is what I love.
that's excellent. Okay, thank you so much. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Bye.